With Martin's help, we made progress on this. But we're still collecting these debts at the expense of people's lives. Let's please finish what we started and cancel the rest of the debts. This is something to be proud of.
All right, so I'm sure lots of politicians ask you to show up. Why'd you choose this one?
Oh, well, you know, it's a question. I said no, actually, in my head because of the album schedule, working with you two and being away. And then I thought, you know, this guy, when it was a risk, perhaps, took my calls, followed through on those calls, made the case for debt cancellation, this idea of dropping the debts owed by the poorest countries to the richest.
Throughout the 1990s, a period of unimaginable wealth and prosperity. As a percentage of national income, we gave less and less and less.
It was also a chance to speak directly to, you know, an entire country.
The Canadian voice is hardwired in my heart. I'm a fan because a certain kind of idealism still seems to be alive in this country.
This is an important moment in time for Canada and for the world, and that Canada has a role to play in leading the world down a certain path.
Is it hard for you to side up with a politician sometimes when you don't? I mean, because there's, you know, politicians have so many policies and so many things, and then you're not sure if you want to be a part of that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
I'm not a supporter of the Liberal Party. I'm not. I'm not a supporter of any political party. I like parties, though.
Politicians, they're a funny lot. You know, I used to, as I grew up, my teenage years, I just despised them. A lot of them were corrupt in Dublin, in Ireland, and a lot of the beauty of the city that I grew up in, Dublin, we had the eyes gouged out of it by corrupt politicians and builders. And so I didn't have a very high opinion of politicians growing up. But right now, I've kind of more faith in them than I ever could have imagined, simply because, I mean, a lot of the smart ones could be making a fortune in, you know, if they've gone into, you know, the commercial world. They're like, you know, politicians are like cops and priests. People, they get into the, you know, they become a politician for the worst or the best reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're used to all of those, aren't you?
Yes.
Guys like that.
I'm going to be the biggest pain in his ass. A year down the line, he's going to regret tonight. I can imagine the staff meeting. Whose idea was it to invite Bono?
So you show up and you get on stage and you do the speech, and then you get your private FaceTime with them as well. Does he make promises to you and say, here's what I'm going to do?
Well, the smart ones don't make promises they can't keep.
Did Paul?
So, no, he didn't. So I asked Paul Martin, I said, look, will you help? And he said he would. He didn't commit to any time or you know, schedule on that. But I have a feeling that he will follow through.
We've just seen a remarkable speech by Bono. People like he who have brought a new and welcome urgency to the plight of the people in the developing world. And why has he done it? Because he cares.
Just to tell you, just to bring it, make it real. In Uganda, which is this incredible country, beautiful country, landlocked but rich. They have 2 harvests every year. It's just an amazing place. 3 times the amount of children I've got in school because of money that
they're not paying back.
That they're not paying back on old debts. I mean, having visited those schools and seeing those teachers, seeing those children in those schools, and realizing why we all work together, it's amazing. And I remember a politician from the South in the U.S. He was going, "This money's going down a rat hole." I took him photographs of a water hole.
The rat hole, eh?
That had been paid for by debt cancellation. That was an amazing moment for me, you know, to be able to do that. And to be fair to the guy in question, he really came around and became a real supporter. I really got to like him. He was just, you know, arguing the hard-nosed thing. Because corruption is a real problem in Africa. And we're not asking for people to give more money unless we can see where the money's going.
Is it a greed in the sense where they just can't let go of money? Is there a lack of compassion from not just leaders, but people in general?
I think people are generous. I really do. But as long as they know where the money's going. The reason why people don't want to put their hands in their pockets is if they think they're not going to have impact with their tax dollars. If we can convince Canada that the Canadian dollars can transform the lives of millions and millions of Africans or wherever. If you're talking about value for money, the idea that for 20 cents you can give a pregnant woman a drug called nevarapine and she will not pass AIDS onto her child. I mean, who wouldn't? You know, there's the bums on streets would put their hands in there if it was their last penny and give that woman 20 cents. You would, I would. I mean, but our campaign is not really about people giving money, which is up to their own conscience to decide how they should respond to the emergency. What we're saying is, give your government permission. You've already given to them, and this will change the way the world sees Canada, not just the way Canada sees the world. Our band just feels to me very relevant right now. Look, it's easy to be successful. It's very hard to be relevant. If I thought, you know, we'd made our best records and we were on cruise control here out to the airport, I'd jump out the